All right. Well, let's move on then to our next segment here and talk about the Cocaine Wizard.
There he is on a 4-day bender. Yeah. I the McDaniel.
It's just all sorts of wrong.
Dude, he's going to have, you got Herbert running in the Z. He's going to have Hampton and Wildcat and shotgun under center. Like, who knows what's going to happen, right?
This offense is going crazy. Everywhere.
Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, the big thing, but all seriousness, folks, the big thing about McDaniel is McDaniel's the best head coach for a running back, right? And Hampton last year had the best season that nobody paid attention to in fantasy. Some of the stats about Hampton, which kind of blew me away, was he averaged over 15 points a game in 9 games, right? In PPR formats. He actually had a bigger snap share than Gibbs, Cook, and Chase Brown in 4 games where he had 75. It was just, it's these crazy stats about him. And now he's getting a real offensive coordinator, not fucking Greg Roman. So there's one, right? So there's one weapon in that offense. Then you have obviously Herbert, who I think is a very undervalued quarterback. When he's on, he is on. I think the thing about Herbert is he needs to have a connection with the receiver, right? He showed that with Keenan Allen a few years ago, where they exploded. But 2 years ago, he did it with him, right? He was pacing at some unbelievable rate. And then the other thing about Herbert that I like about him is Herbert's gonna he's gonna take off and run, right? So we've got him right now as the QB 10, right? I think he's going to finish the season possibly with this offense as a QB 5 in the top 5. And I think that McConkey's kind of the one where, it feels like you're drafting him as a wide receiver 1, but he's not getting enough targets for wide receiver 1, which always feels kind of weird. We talked about this on another show where it feels like, Quentin Johnson, yes, his vibes are down. He's a little nicked up right now, but we were talking about how he, maybe they're splitting that 50-50. And you kind of have to really see who Herbert's going to go for, right? And who he's going to be throwing the bomb to. But I really have positive vibes about this whole offense. I'm trying to grab as many pieces of, shares of these guys. I lost out on Hampton, obviously, in a draft we just did. And McConkey. I did get Quentin Johnson because I love Quentin Johnson. What say you, T?
Yeah, like you let in here, where everyone is super hyped with McDaniel, co-confused offense. And... I'm a Hampton stan. Like, if you gave me added Hampton to that list that David ran through, I'd probably grab Hampton. I really believe this offense is going to be, electric. We loved what McDaniel did with Achane and with Mostert. So I think he's probably the one that everyone's just most hyped on. Obviously, we had their center, Biadasz is out now, probably for an extended period of time, maybe this season. That sucks. But after Hampton became the starter last year, he was 10 points a game all but 1 week and, saw a pretty, solid target share or target volume. McConkey, kind of a wild ride. I definitely feel more bullish on him because Allen didn't sign there. So, what are the options? I know a lot of analysts are looking at his stats and progression and comparing him to this, making him this year's JSN. So there's some hype there. I talked about on the ADP movers, Quentin Johnson is one of the best picks you can make in a draft from my standpoint. He was the wide receiver 1 in points per game last year. He was at 11.2 points per game versus Lad's 9.6 and half point PPR. So he already was doing better than Lad last year. Maybe more boom busty, but at that cost, it's fantastic. And Herbert, he was hurt last year. The line was crap. Those things have changed. If anyone wants to look up his splits when Joe Alt's in the offense, it's pretty dramatic how much better he is when that line is short up. And
your boy, Joe Alt delete.
Joe Alt delete. It should be a different ball game from an offensive line perspective, which is going to open everything up. And then obviously McDaniel working his wizardry to make things happen.
No, hold on.